Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, what is going on? Ty B here, Jake Micah, and Slick L joining me for a special edition of Wrestling with Emotion. Slick and I will be heading over to AEW Rochester today when you guys check this out. Recording it the night before here, Tuesday night. Slick, I am so pumped up. Both of our first AEW events. How you feeling right now, bud?
You know, I mean, you and I haven't stopped talking about this for like almost 2 weeks now. And you said it perfectly to me earlier. I feel like I'm 10 years old again. And it's the night before, you know, you got tickets to a big show. And nowadays, I couldn't even say that if I was going to the other company's show per se. But I'm really excited. As we've been talking, there's so much speculation on what could happen. And only 4 confirmed matches that we're aware of. And we're seeing the pre-recorded version of Rampage as well. I got butterflies.
Yep, and in Brody Lee's hometown, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that first.
Of course.
RIP, shout out to one of the GOATs and one of Rochester's favorite sons out there. We'll be there right there, Blue Cross Arena. You see it behind me. But Jake, AEW has done such an amazing job lately of just making these events, even the Dynamites and the Rampages, feel bigger than just a TV show. It's not just another Wednesday night. Like, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Like, it's fire coming.
Yeah, bro, it's everybody's emptying the clip right now, and they really are. Like, it's I don't think any of us have ever experienced wrestling like at this kind of like heat that it has right now, just all over the place. And yeah, AEW has just every week, like, everybody's in on everything going on. Everybody's over the way that they're supposed to be over. It's like it what you want.
Make sense, yeah.
It's like I'm bought into everything at this point. Like, and it wasn't like that a couple years ago. And I've been pretty following AEW pretty much from the start of it and everything. And didn't have the guys over like that. And it's really just, they put the work in, put the time in, and it's just catching at the right time. And I mean, this is a crazy time to be catching fire too, because usually, like, we've seen WWE during NFL season, that's when like it's a slow period and everything. And this is when AEW is just picking up too into like the next year or so.
And it's not a COVID for them. It's not a COVID football season. No Wednesday, no Friday night NFL this year.
Yeah, no Bills Titans Wednesday night in the middle of October. So yeah, it's been killing it lately, and no doubt they've got some shit up their sleeve for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about a lot of these people being like over like they should be, and that's one of the things we can mention here is how, you know, they went from this transition to having no fans, and then they were in Florida, so they could have like a little bit of fans. Like, there were like 100, like 200 fans there, but like you still couldn't really grasp like how the fans were going to react in a large scale setting. And especially since like adding Jungle Boy's song and Moxley with Wild Thing and a bunch of these other things they've done since then, we've gone to see now like how crazy it is. And just to think like how crazy the pop would have been for Brody Lee this night here in Rochester. Like, more than likely his debut would have been on this AEW event to begin with before the pandemic, like in front of a full crowd in Rochester, but he never got to experience the AEW crowd. So I think it's going to be something that's just unforgettable, Jake.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw how amazing that tribute was initially last year. And so I trust you have a lot of trust in them to put on like a special type of show. You guys are going to be in for like a roller coaster, like a for real roller coaster of just hype and then everything else. There's no doubt in my mind, with all that in mind, that they're going to be making sure that they deliver and put on a really, really memorable show tomorrow night and for Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. Slick, let's just get into some of these matches here. We'll start it out with one of the big ones here. It's all about the boom. Yeah. Little Adam Cole, baby.
Hey,
versus Jungle Boy. wow, like these entrances
What
back
a
to
match.
back are going to be insane. Like some people
Yeah.
were saying that the pop that Adam Cole got at Grand Slam was one of the biggest they've ever heard in person, and from some people who've been at big events. So I'm excited to see how this one goes because I think both those guys are just so over, and Adam Cole is on that line of is he a heel, is he a good guy, like whatever. But I think it's just going to be a great match either way.
That's what Jake was saying, though, right? Like all these guys that should be are over, but like AEW, like their plan is not for Adam Cole to be over. Like he just happens to be over because it's yet another left hook out of nowhere that Tony Khan is throwing to this crowd. Like as you mentioned, that pop, everyone knew Bryan Danielson was popping. So when those lights out, that's what they thought was coming. And then when they hear it's all up, like, are you kidding me? The roof blew off that place. But no, I'm really looking forward to this match. And like you said, Adam Cole's over. He shouldn't be. And I'm looking forward to this match a lot because I think there's going to be quite the bit of ringside antics with possibly the Young Bucks, possibly Luchasaurus by ringside for both of these guys. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Really looking forward to it. And just to touch on that Brody Lee thing again, you know, AEW threw a great homecoming show for Moxley and Pillman. And, like, they're still alive and well and with us in the ring, you know? Like, so I think it's going to be a really special homecoming for Brody Lee, and they're going to make sure of that.
Absolutely, Jake. Anything to add on this match? Because I mean, Jungle Boy has just been phenomenal. He's just gotten so much better. At first, it was kind of Luchasaurus, the thing that was over with them, but the past 6 to 8 months, Jungle Boy has just been on like a meteoric rise to stardom.
Well, they bought the song. That changed. The song changed so much. Bro, when you said talking about the Cole song and how it was in New York, the reception it was in Chicago. It was Jungle Boy's music. I think hit as hard as anything else for that whole weekend. I mean,
maybe besides CM Punk,
it's electric, bro. Well, Punk was a little different, but the Jungle Boy is one of those guys. Like I think we've talked about it on here before, and that there's like these 4 core guys that they've been looking at. You want to include Hangman, MJF, like around those young guys that this company we're gonna remember like in 10 years when they first started out there. He's one of those guys for sure. They've put him in a huge spot over and over again, and this is another one. I mean, this match, I assume this is the opener. You were talking about a hot opener. I think this is your hot opener for sure. You start with one of those. It doesn't even matter which song you start with. It could be either one. And
right.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah. And you're 100%. So right, because like I was saying, like we have the pre-recording of Rampage, which I would assume would be that extra hour.
It's usually after.
Time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's usually after. So so
because they usually set it up on Wednesday.
So they're airing Dynamite then an hour late. Is that what you mean?
No. There's
no,
some.
Yeah. It'll be 4 hours of wrestling. You'll get dark.
Say less.
Dark matches. Usually.
Oh, we get dark too. Okay, yeah.
There'll be an hour's worth. Usually, they usually do it just to keep everyone entertained as they're coming, especially with the COVID stuff. Still,
and then Justin Roberts will be out there for like 15 minutes just talking to everybody, but it's not that bad either.
Yeah,
he's not bad at it.
No, yeah, I'm fully expecting that.
Yeah, but we talked about that a little bit there. Slick, the homecoming aspect. We're not a huge a homecoming aspect in terms of who was booked to actually have matches. The only one sort of is the Bunny. She's not actually from Buffalo, but does she live there now with the Bunny? Yeah. Yes,
Toronto.
But she's Toronto, yeah. But she does live in the Buffalo. Yeah.
We got the mutual
that's neither here nor there.
With the 6.
It works.
Well, and she, lives there now because she's married. But
honorary Buffalo kid.
But no Butcher and the Blade match scheduled. No Daniel Garcia match scheduled. Does that surprise either of you guys?
I think we'll get it eventually.
Rampage matches.
I want to say we get the Garcia is probably more likely than the Butcher and the Blade. Who knows? We could see Butcher or Blade ringside for that Bunny match.
That's true.
A lot of things could happen. Like I said, you could fill a total Dynamite show with just 4 matches and fill in the blanks. But I think we're in for more than they're letting on, you know? Kind of like when the cops are doing an investigation, they don't want you to know everything, but they'll let you know some things that'll kind of help people out along the way.
Absolutely.
I think we're in for a hell of a show tomorrow.
And that's why let's get into that matchup there. It's Penelope Ford and the Bunny versus Anna Jay and Ty Conti. You got to think Hardy Family Order. If they're all coming out, you're going to get all of Dark Order. Is this the Dark Order spot? This might be it. It very well could be it, but I think it's going to be a part of a big thing. So I don't know, how that's going to play out. I think Anna Jay and Ty Conti probably end up getting over on the Bunny and Penelope here. The bad guys losing this one because they've been getting the one over the last couple of times with that knuckle duster. I might have to bring one with me in support of the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny because they've been using it a lot lately for some reason. Don't love it, but it is what it is. I like the one-hit knockouts though. Slick, any thoughts on this match?
I love the female division of AEW, so I am really looking forward to this because one thing I think they do really well with the female division is actually establish the superstars and not necessarily have to have tag teams, but can throw these various superstars into these tag matches and still make it make sense. And yeah, I'm big fan of the Bunny, but I think I agree with you. They've been given her that extra step along with the push with the Butcher and the Blade. I think heels go down in this one. Really looking forward to that, though, for sure.
Yep. Jake, anything big happen here? Or is it just going to be another good match? Like, people complain a little bit. There could be more women's matches on TV. Yes, and I think we're going to get that now, especially with that TBS championship. I think that's why they added that. We'll see that more. So I think this is where maybe, Anna Jay, Ty Conti get over. Anna Jay maybe makes a push for that TBS championship.
Yeah, this feels like the blow off to this because they've been going at it for a while. I think Ty Conti and Bunny honestly are perfect candidates for the TBS championship. And I think that that's kind of been part of this feud and establishing this groundwork for it is because they know that's coming. And these are two people that I think are going to be in that range and in that title scene to start out. I mean, I love the TBS title. It's such a great idea to have.
Yeah.
Like we've never seen it. It just gives an opportunity because they've done so well at making all these title matches happen all the time. Everybody's defending titles. They're important. They give you a story behind it. Like they happen for a reason. So to get more women involved, just from a singles perspective and getting those stories out is going to help. And I think that has been the focus of this is get them established for a TBS title run for sure.
Absolutely, because you look at Britt's run, she defends about once every month. You throw that TBS title in there. If it's defended the same way the TNT title is, you're getting that in there every week or so, every other week, more than likely. So a ton of more matches, just a ton more storylines, and to build a bunch of these women into stars, which is exactly what you want. I think they've been slowly building up the people and giving them the stuff on Dark. People complain about it a little bit and like, oh, I don't want to follow it. But if you follow it, you see the development of the characters and the in-ring work. That's why the Bunny's in-ring work and character work in the ring. Like, she seems like she's actually like deranged and like losing her mind. You know what I mean? Like, she's all over the place and like unstable. Like, it makes sense. It fits the character and like she's doing it at a top-notch level. And like you could see that as a TBS champion being like a master heel at it, like just like doing all these crazy psychotic things to get these wins and going on a Miro type run, just running through everyone. But we'll see how that plays out. I think anything could happen with that just because of the Dark Order aspect, but we'll see on that one. This one feels like a bit of a throw-in match here, but I'm absolutely ecstatic to get to see Dante Martin. He is going to be a star. One of these other big young names, Dante Martin and Matt Sydal versus Cody Rhodes and Big Shotty Lee. Cody still around, still wrestling. Didn't actually toss in those boots. Is it? I wanted Malachi Black big time on this card. No Malachi. Can I please get him to interfere or come on at the end of this match? Pretty please, Jake. Do you foresee it?
He's something's happening with him, bro. Like I don't think that I feel like we've got to maximize on this man at this point. But yeah, I don't know. Like Cody might be angling for
Is the heel turn happening?
I think he's angling to become the biggest heel in all of wrestling right now. I think that's what we're gonna size up. Something's gonna happen.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, does he do something to Dante Martin here that just gets all of AEW just to
I think
absolutely
he might do
hate
something
him?
to Lee too. I mean, and Arn. I think Arn is really gonna be the person that is gonna
Turns on
something to. Turns on Arn. Now here's the thing, because Arn does not make sense. If you go back to like old WCW, like that time and NWA stuff, like Dusty and Arn were never like, they weren't friends ever. The Four Horsemen were trying to mutilate Dusty Rhodes most of the time. So I've always had it in the back of my head, like it doesn't make the most sense for Arn to be with Cody. Like they can play it off right now, obviously, but there's also a time Tully's right there. They barely interacted. I still feel like the Arn Cody relationship is not for long, and maybe that's what it comes to.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I think they were bringing in Ric Flair potentially, and there were gonna be some angles, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm right there with you. This could be a match where we see the Cody Rhodes' heel turn fully here. Like, I mean, I'm ready to boo him. I'm gonna boo him either way.
Bro, he's getting a reality show. The only other dude who has a reality show is The Miz, and no one likes The Miz.
No one likes that dude.
Like,
do they do it? Like, is that on purpose? Like, they do the reality shows with the guys we just all hate?
I think yes.
We'll see.
I think that's what we're getting at here. I don't know. I love Cody. I've enjoyed Cody for a long time now, but I think he is at his best when he is a little asshole, because I think he's kind of just a little asshole, and that's how he's gotten to where he is in his life at this point. And it's just I really want to see that, because he's been such a straight-faced baby face, straight cut, like, and they let him cook a little bit with what else he can do.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And it's funny because he straight out said, like, oh, I'm not going to turn heel anytime soon, like a few months back. And I think he read the tea leaves, which is smart, because he can make a really good run doing that, especially with all the guys they have on the rosters, all these baby faces. Like, could you imagine Jungle Boy finally gets like a title shot or something, and Cody Rhodes just beats him down backstage and puts him out for 2 months because he thought he should have the opportunity or something. Like, he's ranked higher or something, and Jungle Boy gets an opportunity and he just freaks out. Like, there's just so many ways you can go, so many things you could do to really like push that and make it to a whole nother level. And I think he sees it, and I think they'll be smart enough to do it. AEW seems to be very self-aware with everything they do, and they seem to be on the pulse of it week to week. Tony is really, really good with that. But on to the last match scheduled for Dynamite, the TNT title, Miro versus the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Sammy fighting for Fuego del Sol's honor. Sammy said if he wins, he's going to buy Fuego a new car to celebrate. I think this could be the spot we finally see Miro lose, because we could see Miro getting a huge run here, just destroying everyone, getting pissed off, and getting ready for a run at the actual AEW championship after Hangman soon, hopefully soon, takes it off of Kenny. Jake, what are your thoughts on that?
This is the most insecure I've felt Miro's TNT title is. I do believe that. I'm with you there. Sammy feels like a great person to win a TNT title. We still have a Kip Sabian return who has unfinished business with Miro, and there's been a lot of chicanery in AEW lately in a lot of these matches, and I could see them turning Miro away. You get a couple months out of that with Miro before he would go after a guy, whoever the next champion is going to be, hopefully a Hangman. That would be an amazing match. And just Sammy is red hot, right? I think Sammy is ready. Like, he's ready for this moment. Like, he would get over so huge putting on the type of matches that he can put on as a TNT champion on TV. I mean, just, yeah, I think now would be a good time. I wouldn't be surprised if Miro does it, and yeah, see this guy, he's not well. He looks like he's ready to do something.
He looks like
very
a
bad
Cleveland
someday.
Browns fan from 2011.
Facts. It says underrated, over it.
So that man, yeah,
Sounds
he's
like he
going
might
through
want to
it.
come for Miro.
He's going through it, and he needs to take it out on somebody. So that's what I'm guessing. And then Sammy, there's a lot of great potential matches there that he could have as a TNT champion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm with you guys. I really like Sammy. I want to see him get it done. But I think they're building Miro to be this unstoppable force that he is, like absolute unit that they portray him to be. The only thing that diverts me from that is, like you said, Ty, if they want to stray him in the other direction and eventually give him an AEW championship run.
Yep.
But I think they're building Miro just about as over as anyone that they can build, in kind of a heel sense in the way, but a dominant force that is forcing himself to be over in a way, because it's kind of like a Lesnar, a Roman Reigns type of thing. I see them going with the direction of where they want him to seem unstoppable. So, but for that, I could see it going either way. Like you said, like pushing him towards the AEW championship or just being this unstoppable force on the TNT run.
I think that's what the TNT title can be. Like it builds the star to, then you're big enough, you can do a feud. You can do a feud with another big guy, and then you're at that point, you can be an AEW champion now. Like you can carry a show on your own where it's not just, hey, like that's going to be a great match. And like, I really like that guy. It's like, damn, I gotta watch that shit. Like, I think that's where they're what they've done with Hangman. Like, that's why they've sort of drawn this out too, and they're starting to do that with some of these other guys. And I think Miro was sort of that. You saw them bring him in. He did like his a few months with Kip Sabian as the best man and all that, and then he just started wrecking people. And they're really starting to let him unleash himself and the character that he seems to have always wanted to portray himself as, what he wanted to do on WWE, and they wouldn't really let him fully. And I mean, I love it. But we're going to have to talk about Rampage. And even before that, it's not midnight yet, and people are going to see this tomorrow. And Tony's comments are going to be out. Let's just try and take a guess, because he was talking about how the great ratings were, and then he said, accordingly, I'll address you all again at midnight. Is it something big announced here tonight, Jake? Is he going to say that there's going to be a debut that everyone's going to need to see on Rampage, or something crazy? Because we saw some Dave Meltzer news, which is something else, we're going to speculate on when we get into this Rampage part. But is it going to be a big announcement?
I mean, does Tony Khan doesn't not deliver on these things, right?
If Tony Khan speaks, it's important.
Exactly. If he's tweeting out to look at my Twitter account for an announcement at midnight, everybody's gonna be looking at his account at midnight. I don't like, they've never. I don't think they would announce somebody like debuting or anything on Twitter unless they really want. Like, if we're thinking about like, if they're like, we're talking about a debut of somebody and they announce it because they can announce it at midnight, that's something that interests me more. So the thing, I mean, that's what I think it could be, is if they really wanted to do something right at, because what else? We wouldn't announce a match at midnight unless it was like.
What if he just tweets it's Wednesday? You know what that means?
Yeah.
I bet you he's,
bro. The way I was going with it,
that's definitely what it's gonna be.
It's either like we're all gonna be like so pumped, it's gonna be this huge thing, like
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
just gonna be him like
it's Wednesday, you know, what
going live or making a video addressing like an actual physical video. Thank you for the ratings boost and all that. But to Jake's point, where they wouldn't announce like a debut like that, obviously, I mean, like, even when it was CM Punk and he threw it out of the bag the night before, he was just like, yeah, I think our fans are going to be really pleased tomorrow, and they're gonna, like, we're gonna gain a lot of fans that stopped gaining interest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he might be like, oh, it's
years ago or so.
I'm hoping it's video like that, thanking everyone, and he's like, you're all gonna want to watch this Brody Lee memorial, because he's gonna have a lot of his friends are going to be in attendance.
Can we just get it out of the bag, boys? We want Wyndham. Seriously,
Facts.
like I will be really upset if that doesn't happen. I'm dead serious. Like
Wyndham,
it's gonna be a great show, but dude,
Wyndham Rotunda or we riot.
That
Yo, Slick, make that sign for tomorrow.
You're gonna have to, man. Gonna have to. I'm hoping best case scenario. Like we were creating hypotheticals earlier in the week, Ty, but like say we get a Malachi Black appearance. Like who knows, a feud between those two. Even the Wyndham's bio on Instagram, Cult of Wyndham.
Yeah, it says Cult of Wyndham coming soon.
One of those weekly like speeches from CM Punk. All of a sudden, the lights go out to interrupt him. The lights go back on. He's doing his weird upside down thing in the corner on the ropes, bro. Like I would lose my shit. So that's what that's like best case scenario tomorrow. I know we all want it. It seems likely. The hints are there, but I'm going to have fun either way. It's going to be a great show, and who knows what to expect from Rampage, like we were just saying. So,
Jake, odds that we see Wyndham Rotunda tonight, today, tomorrow?
I'm going with like 50. I'm going 50-50 right there. I think he is. I really do think it is. Like, if you ask me to like give you a straight answer, though, it feels like it's happening, especially because when the rumors came out a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty like. It was pretty like you can tell if you read like the dirt sheets, you can tell the rumors that are kind of people just throwing stuff out there like they might know. And
it's
you can
not
tell,
just
like,
one source.
I think it was a few places.
It was a few places,
and different little bits and pieces. Yeah,
that have been like, we think that his contract isn't up until this point, but he's supposed to debut at this point. Yeah. And so it feels like the time, and it feels like the time just because they can cap off, the biggest month in AEW history.
Oh my God!
It's tomorrow's the last day of September. Like just to get it. I feel like they're pretty ceremonial like that, so they're just like, fuck it, let's just get it out ahead of time. And we were talking about earlier if it was like a 90-day compete. First of all, we could. We don't all the contract stuff. Maybe it was 60 days and tomorrow is the 60 days. Who the hell knows? Mm-hmm. But besides that, Tony's been shelling out bags for everybody. You don't think he could shell out this bag to Bray? Be like, listen, come here, buddy. Like,
there's no way
he can for you. Just come the extra month. I think so. It just makes more sense to just send another big debut, and that one's really gonna rock the wrestling world because of just
the Wednesday where everything changed.
Man.
That would
be
would be the case if that happened.
Absolutely. I think
because with him it's like the other three, like Cole, Danielson, Punk, we've all seen like them at their peaks. We know what they can get to. With Wyndham, with Bray, like we just know the potential of what he could be, and it's never happened.
And
everybody wants to see it.
And he's like beloved all across. Like,
he was beloved without
and
like
people were always
to that peak.
Always frustrated with how he was booked.
And the only time fans that would ever like boo or be upset with it was because they knew
not
it
because
was
of him,
creative decision. But when he comes out to whatever he comes out to, that crowd he's in literally the whole world in his like literally the palm of his hands every time. And with this kind of crowd, it's gonna like who knows
exactly.
Dynamite ends with "I got the whole world in my hands." Boom.
If that's the song that plays, I don't even know, bro. I'd lose my mind. I would lose it. It would be crazy.
Slick, Lord, we might have a heart attack. I don't know.
Here's what I think it could be. Here's where I think they could go with it.
If I have a beer in my hand and I hear that, I'm spraying that all over everyone. I mean, they're not going to give a shit. They're going to be just as excited as I am.
Yeah.
Now he posted the Danielson picture the other night in the steel cage against Danielson. I feel like that's a very natural thing if he's like haunting him, like coming after Danielson, whatever, or just wants him to listen to whatever. But I really want it to be Kenny Omega gets confronted by.
Oh my God, dude!
Like that's what you're doing. Like, just have everybody keep coming out against Omega.
Okay, yeah, that's where I was going with that because, like, do you do that after you have arguably two of the biggest AEW debuts in history in the same Omega segment? Like in a way,
Omega's the guy though, so
right?
I feel
But
like
in a
you just
way,
put him up.
in a way,
Hold
that
on,
segment
hold on.
was
Fantasy
not.
booking of the year. Fantasy booking of the year right here. Don Callis and Omega start the show, and they're just talking some shit about Rochester and like not really paying their full respect to Brody and this or that. And then
Oh
all of a
man!
sudden, Wyndham comes out,
Oh man!
lays them out, sets up a match, and that's the match Dave
Sister
Meltzer is
Abigail.
talking about, a big match that hasn't been announced for Friday Night Rampage, and it's Wyndham versus Kenny.
Dude, I could totally see that happening. One, because they did something somewhat similar this past Wednesday where they had Punk come out, give the speech, and he was like, as I'm wrestling on Friday, and like everyone in attendance
They do that all
knew
the time.
damn well that like they're seeing him wrestle tonight. A segment tie into the next, even though it's the same night, man, I would pop so crazy if that happened. One, because I love to see Don Callis catch like a mean DDT. And like you said, Jake, like they're all just doing it to Omega because he's the guy, and he's funny as hell when it comes to him like being the
his
guy, but
reactions,
finally getting like confronted. Exactly, like when we saw that Jungle Boy, Brian Danielson, and Luchasaurus come in the ring, and Omega hopped out, ditching the Young Bucks and shit. Yeah, that was great. So something just like that. Love for
Yep,
that.
absolutely. Jake's froze right now, but it's like, yeah, there is that unannounced match. We'll see what that one is. We can speculate all we want, but we won't know till we're there tomorrow night. And I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who doesn't get to see it until Friday. Sorry, don't ask me. Actually, send me some.
Unless it's Rob Ryan, I might spoil it for him.
Oh, I'm texting Rob Ryan all the spoilers. Rob, I hope you're still watching the show at this point, so you know they are incoming. I will be telling you every single detail of every match, every punch, every
videos.
Kick. Yeah, everything that happens. You'll know, everything. But let's get into Rampage. I know we do have one match that is announced. Normally we still get like at least 3 matches on the hour show, so that's why I'm saying like it could be a big match. Like it could be something crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan does that. If you pay all this money for this company and to bring in all these guys, fantasy book the hell out of them. If you're Tony Khan, you're paying them the money. Why not? You're not doing all these house shows. You're not beating them up. They love doing this. They love wrestling against the best of the best. Like it improves their own skills. They love doing it. So we'll see. But we do have the hair versus hair match. Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans in this one. We all thought it was going to be Matt Hardy, but he forces Jack Evans to step in on that one. Slick, what are your thoughts?
I love Matt Hardy being like the kind of like scared heel that he is, and what they're doing with him as a character. It's awesome because obviously big fan of the Hardys, but you always knew Matt Hardy didn't have that edge that his brother did. And I think him as a heel is absolutely hilarious position. And Jack Evans, Cassidy, I was saying this to myself earlier. I just can't see Cassidy getting his hair buzzed off live in front of like 12,000 people. I just can't see it. What I see happening is Cassidy does some slick shit to win this match. Like that, pun intended, like he is a slick son of a gun. And I think we see him finding a way to buzz Jack Evans' hair off with his hands in his pockets somehow. And if that happens, like I might cry laughing. So I don't know what you're in for, but we will see.
Yeah, I was thinking about along the same lines as you there, that Orange Cassidy, no chance he loses this, but I'm like, well, he doesn't have that much hair to begin with. Like that would kind of grow back quick. Jack Evans has the long hair. Or Swerve Orange Cassidy just shaves Matt's head instead. And we see something here to break up the Hardy family order, which I would love, so you can get a full Butcher and the Blade and Bunny push where they're not just the gimmicky heels that you beat, and like the henchmen, they get their full like, these are big bruisers, gonna beat your ass, gonna kill everybody. Let's fucking go. Like I want that so bad for that, the Buffalo Kids. If they get a title and they got to get a custom West Side Gun theme, I think that's like gotta be a thing if you're a Buffalonian and you win a title in AEW.
do we see West Side Gun tomorrow night?
That's
I have
another
a
big
very
question.
strong feeling we do.
I would say there's a great chance because he was a big Brody guy.
He was
The
just in
B
New York
side,
City.
yeah, the B side of his most recent album, Hitler Wears Hermes 8. The B side intro track is titled Brody Lee. So yeah, absolutely wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. He also has a song
Kingston
titled
on
Eddie
the track.
Kingston on there. We haven't seen Eddie Kingston's not scheduled on this. It's in New York State. He's a New York guy. Eddie would be super over, and he's been closing out a lot of these too, where he's like talking to the crowd at the end, or different things like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Slick. Any few last thoughts here before we get out of here?
I think we covered a lot of what we've been thinking leading up to this and what we've been excited for mostly, but I'm just gonna say it again because I can't express it enough. I really think we're in for a show tomorrow night and or tonight, whenever people are watching this. And like I said, whether it's Wyndham or something else, people could argue the CM Punk debut was the night. I think there is potential that the tide changes this Wednesday night in 2021.
Absolutely. It could be the Wednesday that changes everything. And that's why you're tuned into Wrestling with Emotions, because you heard it here first. Slick and Ty B were all over it. Shout out to Jake Micah for joining us as well. I know he got froze up, but he's going to be very excited to watch all the fun that we have, because we were the ones missing out while he was at All Out in Chicago and all those great events that weekend. So we're going to be the ones enjoying it this time. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe. If you're watching on Twitter or anywhere else, retweet, do all that fun stuff. Slick, Ty B, Jake, myself. I said myself, Ty B, like I'm talking in the third person. Jeez. Maniac, Rob Ryan, the rest of the crew for Wrestling with Emotions will be back, bringing you more frequent episodes now, talking about all sorts of stuff across the wrestling world, especially AEW for Slick and I. Slick is now fully in. Let's go. It's not wrestling with Maniac. It's not wrestling with Slick. It's Wrestling with Emotions. Good night now.